You are a yummy serving of acai. There is honey on you. There is Biscoff. There is pistachio. There's a wooden spoon. I took you home. I don't like wooden spoons, friends. You are now spoony. We eat with real spoons here. I'm going to give you a mid-cycle update for the day. We have $67,000 reclaimed by Bitcoin. It's done like this reversal off these lows. Everybody's clearly losing their minds, wondering what's coming next. I want to show you the Russell 2000, friends. So I'm just going to give you just a general overview. Okay, so I watched Blockchain back, and what he kind of thinks happens next is he goes back to this the .com era. Okay, the .com era. And if you go back here now, in the 1990s, the .com era, what he thinks is basically happening is, you see this period here, how stocks just go up like that? Well, in this period, the Russell 2000 was lagging. I'm actually going to show you that chart right now. This is the Russell 2000. See that red part? So what happens is towards the end, so this Russell 2000 is this red part, right? Think of red like hot. So the stock market, after some time up, look what happens. It rotates down, and then the S&P 500, sorry, the Russell 2000 in the final year of the tech boom goes poof, and then it's all over. Okay, so what he thinks is happening is that. So if we go to today, okay, if we go to the Russell 2000, I'll show you now. He thinks what's basically happening is actually not just thinks what's happening. He says he's 100% all in on this idea. And it makes sense, right? Because we didn't have a proper economic reset. Yeah, unemployment maybe ticked up a bit. The recession had to get changed. It wasn't like a proper big one, okay? But that's just something to think about. So he thinks that what might come next is the Russell 2000, right, continues to be poopy. At some point, though, the S&P 500 does like that turn down, and in the reversal, as the S&P 500 turns down, this thing goes poof, and this explodes, but then it's all over. Okay, so that's the Russell 2000. Now, what happens after that? Who knows? Okay, and we'll have to see what happens to altcoins. But what it would actually do is, it would do this chart. All right, so it is, if you draw a fib from here to here, you get this extension, okay? And it would be like, you know, markets, we do something like that, and we just have this big blow, and then that's it, pretty much game over. So I want you to see this. Okay, you think, oh, wait, man, that's a higher low. No. Look, like what you're doing is, yeah, this is others index. Maybe others drops 50 to 60%. That's others, man. But many altcoins in there will drop 80 to 90%. In fact, you can go back and check it. Look what I did in this year, right? Others here dropped 57%. And we know for a fact there are coins in here that dropped small caps 95%. HEX, PulseChain, PulseX dropped like 85%. So it's an annihilation of sorts, okay? But it's after a big pump. So it would be a rotation out of big tech stuff, and it's like end of cycle things. And then we have something big. Now, obviously, it makes everybody scared, right? Like, oh, what's going to happen after that? I don't know. But that's why, luckily, I've told you, hey, get a Jeet stack on. Just in case, man. If others, friends, if others is sitting up here, you don't know what your altcoin is going to be at. Remember, others is everything outside of the top 10. So you don't know. What I'm going to do is, friends, we'll play some nice. We've got to play some Pikachu music. And we've got to get out our big fat lollipop. Okay, we're cheering for the green candles. Now, just got to help prepare you, because at this point, you're just going to decide. Maybe you want 50% out, maybe 30%. But look, man, I know you're like, oh, sweet, I'll take 50% out. No, just chill out. Because you and I think, yeah, you and I are assuming that when we get here, all your portfolio, you're up like 30x. No. This number, by the way, from today, this number is a 4.6. Okay, it's a 4.6x. PulseChain, for example, did a 2 multiplier on that earlier this year. So maybe that's 8. And then you think, well, can't possibly get out. It's 8x from here. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, what if that happens, or what if that's the end? And then it drops 80% from that point. So you're still actually higher than here. So that's why, man, if you get there, at least you got a Jeet stack. Cover yourself for the next 1 or 2 years, just in case poop hits the fan. Because like, remember friends, I even speculated, like what if we have a shortened bear market, right? Where everyone thinks it's literally over forever, but then we have like something like that occurs and we actually do eventually go up. Now, this is going to look bad, by the way. When we do this, don't think, oh, sweet, we're just going to go up only. No one's going to be calling for that. What they're going to be saying is, okay, we deserve death. It was all meme coin speculation. That's what they're going to be saying. But for now, we have to take it one day at a time, okay? I've got this cute ducky here doing the ooh-woo fingers. Do not listen to family members who tell you to sell crypto. Just telling you now. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. They are poor for a reason. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. You are here 18 hours a day with me. We're the ones. You've sat through all this pain. You know, the money print. They have no idea, friends. They have no idea. Everyone, they all say the same things. They go, oh, well, you can't sleep in it like you can sleep in a house, okay? Because they're all long. Real estate is real, or come to the stock Ponzi. It's all the same stuff, okay? It's all run by the money printer. We know it, okay? You'll find out if you follow people like that. I know they're family member. We love them, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about, okay? They just don't know. They don't know. And you'll find out why they're poor. Okay, if you're so smart, why haven't you retired yet? Okay, and by the way, also be careful about people who have retired because they retired in a different asset class. You get it? And then they'll demonstrate to you why they've been spinning their wheels for all this time and actually made no progress. So I'm just warning you about that. Now, I know my words are just words. You're going to forget about this, and when family members do come and put the pressure on, people sell friends. I mean, look what happened to Mr. Silvertooth, okay? Had his ex-wife. He had to sell the lows. He literally had to sell the lows, fix up his place, and then she went and just started chatting up another guy anyway, and they had to get divorced. Right? So they don't know anything, okay? They know nothing. They know nothing. You know something. You're in here, and the industry still hasn't gone to zero. So there's something in here growing, and it's going to take a while, but it's going to crank. Now, I wanted to show you this cool series of ratio charts, friends. So I've got HEX chart here. I've got a HEX update, okay? Now, HEX, because of its little move up, okay, recently, you actually go back and check it. Because of this little move, okay, it made, it's kind of funny. It gave people some FOMO, okay? It gave people some FOMO. So I'm going to show you right into the court date. So they just saw 4 green weekly candles. It gave people some FOMO, all right? And what happened here, you instantly get, 39%. That's standard. That's standard like every single move. But to see what's really going on, you got to look at the ratios. Now, I have the pHEX to Pulse ratio. So it's pHEX over Pulse, okay? So if this goes up, pHEX is strong. If it goes down, pHEX is weak. So it, out of nowhere, just shot up through the high, okay? So people out here, they think, hey, that might have been an exogenous hand. Somebody tried to do that. But it doesn't matter who it was, because I've seen in markets, friends, I've seen big players try to force their will on a market. I've seen it happen, man. And I've seen it get rejected, okay? I've seen, like, it happens to central banks, okay? It can actually happen. If the market doesn't want to go somewhere, then it will fade off. Now, you don't know if it's going to fade off. You don't know, okay? But I'm just helping prepare you. If it fades off, it doesn't mean anything's wrong, because I'm just helping you put a story to this puzzle as well. So you got to be careful of chasing tops of these ratios. So what happens if you're buying this? It's just showing you, okay, if you're entering pHEX right now, you're basically saying, see this top chart? You're selling Pulse to buy this thing up the top. Okay, I'm not saying, man, this doesn't have to be a top, right? It could always keep going. It could always keep going. Yeah, but it could also go down. What now? Okay, so I'm just helping you look at ratios. Just to maybe try to get a better bang for a buck. That's all. So I've got another interesting chart. Okay, eHEX, pHEX. Now, because there was this aggressive pHEX rally, remember this is eHEX divided by pHEX. So eHEX is on top, yeah? So when this thing goes down, eHEX is weak against pHEX. So why did it go down? It's because pHEX started rallying up and no one was buying the eHEX. Well, you had the BankX sell wall, right? So these things will ping around. They don't move one for one, but it's come back down to this ratio point of 0.15, which is very low. But even I have a box here. I'm like, hey, if it goes back to 0.10 or below, that'll be like really, really good. You don't know if it's going to get there though, because what we've actually seen is there are sharks in HEX. That's a wallet size. They've been selling eHEX to buy pHEX. Now, I saw there's a few people on Twitter, God bless your hearts. They're like, oh, that's a sign for me to follow them. Habib, let me put it to you in a very nice diplomatic way. Do you want to be following wallets of people who fluked one investment in their life and are now trading? Do you want to be following them? Think about it. They fluked one thing and now they are selling something down 99.96%. That's eHEX. They're selling that down to go buy something else at a ratio of like 0.15. Just think about that. People who've like been wrong for the past 36 months in a row with every single narrative saying HEX is going to run first, HEX is decorrelated, it's going to take over the industry, all of these stuff. You know what I mean? Like all of these things. They just, look, I hope it does. It all happens, friends. We've got a strong call. Just telling you, like, their timing of all these things has been like you can't get lower points than that, right? I mean, like, look, you even like, they're in the thing that you would have had more money if you just lost your money in FTX and just got it back. Okay, I'm just trying to help you be objective with like, should you start following these people? Just help you think about that. But people for some reason they're like worshiping these people because they look, man. It's gonna repeat all over again. That's all I'm saying. Look, here you have eHEX, pHEX back in this range. You don't have to touch eHEX, by the way. I'm just showing you that liquidity pockets they ping around. So if eHEX, pHEX got to that low area, but it is low now, yeah, it would be advantageous to like just scoop it up, let all those people cheat out, let them keep cheating out and stuff, because that's what you want to do, man. You want to remove the ticker. You don't actually want to look at a ticker, or you don't actually want to look at anything. You look at a chart. And you're like, hey, does this look like it is low when you do this? Yes, your whole goal is to buy low. Now, doesn't mean sell pHEX for this. But I'm just showing you, if you're going to participate in the ecosystem and some opportunity appears, that's one thing available to you. Instead of, say, you know, because not everyone wants to touch a meme coin, you know. But then you have Acai for you. So everything's along the risk curve. Okay, just whatever floats your boat. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting, right? So this is the PulseX divided by HEX ratio. This is PulseX over HEX, okay? So if this chart goes up, right? If it goes up, PulseX is strong against HEX. If it goes down, PulseX is weak against HEX. Now, why did it go down? It's because pHEX just did a rally. PulseX didn't move, right? Now, when I'm looking at this, I don't know if you guys remember, in 2023 and this year, I made many ratio video talks, okay? And I know I'll say a lot of stuff, but in many of them, I said, look, if there was a God hand, exogenous big person, maybe, if they were out here and they tried to smash pHEX up to make it super strong against everything else, I feel like this zone, so that's actually it happening right now. I feel like, see that right arrow, that would happen. And I laid out my case why. Okay, and that's because, this is funny, God bless your hearts, friends. I don't make these ratios move the way they do. Okay, so firstly, I'm not as big as a God hand anyway. I'm just telling you what people do naturally. What people naturally do is they buy newer coins compared to old ones. Naturally, that's what they do. Okay, so PulseX, cycle 1 coin, pHEX, cycle 2. PulseX also has that buy and burn. pHEX has the yield and the inflation coming out. So, by the way, that's not enough to just give you an answer on 2 coins. If that was as simple as that, you could make billions of dollars just trading on centralized exchanges based off those. It's not enough. It just feels like if, by the way, it doesn't have to go back up. Okay, it could always just keep going down forever. It can do that. It can. But if left to itself, if you see the market doing this move, and it actually starts rotating back up, basically you got to see what happens when a big shock comes into one of the coins, a big buyer, and there's no follow through. Okay, because that's what happens in markets. So what you'll find is there's always an ignition somewhere. It happened even in EOS. Okay, I'll show you this, right? This is like such a great example. Even in EOS, friends, if you go to EOS, okay, EOS USD, look at EOS back in 2021. So this is a weekly chart. So EOS, look at this. Okay, so Bitcoin had already hit 60K. So what everyone started doing was they just started smacking up. They started smacking up EOS. They just had to go. Why is that? Why do they do that? It's because they see everything else moved up. They go, okay, it's time for this. Let's see how far this goes. Let's see if there's any follow through. And then what happens is it just comes right back down. There is no follow through. Okay. But you got to think, okay, let's go even to a daily chart, because this is such a great example, because everyone knows EOS is dead, but that's the beautiful part about it. Even EOS had these moments to convince everybody that it's back, like it's coming back. Look at this, just going up and up, and I'm like, whoa, like unstoppable, right? It was literally unstoppable here. Not that anybody was paying attention. It's only up. Wow, you're up a freaking 2x and SHIB's up a million X, right? But that was actually the end. And look, if it comes back down again, this was actually the big real move. You see that? So people had to go. They had a big go. But look what ends up happening. Okay, the next candle, they fade off. There's actually nothing left. Okay, so this is just market mechanics. When a lot of things have gone, that's what people do. They'll thrash liquidity just to see if there's people who are gonna buy after them, and just to like see if there's any ignition to follow the momentum. So if we look at PulseX versus pHEX, it might be the same thing here too. Okay. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people still get confused. You got to remember, you're not actually trading a chart. It's just to show you a different picture. So if you own PulseX, you can't, a lot of people will say to me, how do I go buy that chart? Because, okay, PulseX is low. I want to go buy it. You don't know. If you own PulseX, you're already long that chart. Okay. PulseX can be charted against gold, against S&P 500, against a squeaky chair price, against Bitcoin, against pHEX. Okay. You can chart it against anything. That's all these ratios help you do. It just shows you any disconnect that's happened. This is PulseX's price chart as well. This is actually nice, right? It's doing these higher lows. You see that? See this PulseX doing a higher low. Now, if I go back and just show you the ratio, look at this. Here's a higher low as well here. You see that? Here's that higher low. So I just want you to know, if this comes back up, friends, well, look what that means. Look, I've got it written here for you just so you can see. Let's get to the climax. At this line, PulseX flips pHEX. The market believes PulseX is a better store of value than pHEX. So that is just, it's just like to show you, hey, that's when the market caps are equated. Okay. Now it doesn't happen there. Like, yeah, look, I'll be honest. Origin Address has all the coins. Rich has got a big say in it. He could make the ratios move around, but it depends. It depends on the market, what it actually sees as value. Do people naturally want to go to one coin versus the other? Like, it's all going to sort itself out. But one thing we know is if you're fighting the market too much, there's eventually a slingshot that comes back. Still, after seeing all these, though, it's better to just have the core coins. That's it. You know, there's all these ratios, pulse, but I know it just gets everyone confused. You shouldn't even... What I noticed is no matter how stable a range was, even at the tops and bottoms, people had FOMO and fear. That's something I learned. I couldn't believe it, because I came in, I made my money trading as a fader. Okay, we would construct spreads to get them to mean revert. So we'll be selling tops and buying bottoms, yeah? And that's how I'm built, though. And I came to just see this. I go, no matter how stable you could get a range, people don't sell tops and buy bottoms. They don't. What I've noticed is, like, you actually get to see it right now. If you look at this, friends. Down here, you saw people on chain. Down here, people aren't buying PulseX. They're selling PulseX. They're selling this chart. They're selling PulseX to go buy pHEX. They sold Inc to go buy pHEX. They sold Pulse to go buy pHEX. They started like doing these moves to do that. They sold eHEX. They're selling eHEX now to go buy pHEX, you know? So I was like, wow, you're following the red candles all over again. Silly me to think that it would be any different. So where does that leave us? Well, here is HEX. It's still got a 10x to 12.7 cents. That's the next target. We're still hoping they hit dollars, multiple dollars. We do. We hope they do. But this is the next nice number to reach. You got 5 cents here and then 12.7 cents, which is the launch. But yeah, like, you got an Ethereum price. It's 2,500-ish. That's disgusting, friends. Like 2,500. Wow, that's just like we need Ethereum to have a 4 in front. A 4 or 5. It's got a 2. Oh boy. There is hope for the cult, though, those friends. Look at this. Wall Street Bets. Look at this guy. He has 830,000 followers. He's posting Richard Hart stuff. There will be signs. So he's basically just that there will be signs. it means like, hey, when I make a lot of money, there will be signs I've made a lot of money. And they're just showing like Richard Hart, you know, doing the shopping thing. He posts the whole video, just showing that the outrage marketing, so I guess, is still paying its dividends. They all still pay for it. So it would be funny, man, if PulseChain core coins are rallying, and there's just so many people who know, oh, I know that guy. I saw it posted on TikTok. That's a guy. That'd be funny, man. It could be like the longest type of the longest type of return on the investment ever. Now, for the whole ecosystem out there in crypto, we went through the altcoins. I showed you the Russell, where we are right now. It's, yeah, it might be like just screwing around, up and down, up and down, up and down. But yeah, it is interesting. What do you think about BCB's his correlation to the 1999 stuff? I saw the charts. But that's basically what's happening, because he goes, we've never had this type of economic environment for crypto ever before. Because every single time the Russell was expanding, it was expanding by this point, right? It was like expanding means new highs. Basically means a new economic bull market is starting. That's what he's basically saying, okay? We've never actually had that. He goes, this is more toward the end game. Now, what does that mean? I don't know, friends. It doesn't mean AI goes ballistic in the next 12 to 24 months. Maybe like AI starts like ratcheting up and like people get too excited. But that's one possibility. Because if you want to know, that's what happened in the tech stocks. If I just quickly show you. In the tech stocks in 1999 here, it's interesting. This is, remember the S&P 500 here. In this final period, you had pets.com. You had Mark Cuban selling like his radio company or whatever for like $1 billion, whatever it was. You have all that extreme stuff back then, and that's a lot of money back then as well. You see, that's what we're getting at. They had all that extreme stuff. That's why a lot of people are confused now. They're like, wait, that's meme coins. Yeah, but Bitcoin's a meme coin, man. So it's not meme coins. So that's whatever comes, it's going to be more silly than what we have now. And you have the PulseChain ecosystem, friends. This is just the screenshots from the day. You have Kumamon, PPAP, and SolidX did some tiny moves here. I just want to show you Kumamon as well. So I made a tweet about it. I had a little bit, but you didn't have to buy me. Like, there's no dip. It's just going straight line. You know what? It's up to you, man. I don't know what to do with these, friends. It's just like there's no answer for these because you're here in the depression, so you don't have to buy stuff like this. But it's a wild time, man. Just green candles keep going up and up and up. There's no, like, how do I put it? Once the bull market starts, you see this chart pattern? It basically, friends, there's no like coming back. Like, that's your comeback, okay? When the bull market starts, in a bull market, they just keep going up. When they actually give you a dip, it's like over. So if you want to buy this area, no, it's because a bear market has started, okay? That's pretty much what I'm getting at. And that's why, but everyone loves that. So I get scared about that, but 99% of people love that. Like, what? I can just keep buying and it just keeps going up. Like, yeah, that's end of time. That's the end of the cycle times, okay? So it's great to see all these still continuing to power on. Don't forget, man, I have made videos just even to show you, friends. A lot of people still think, that's okay if you think that, just no precedence for them, but what I'm about to say, a lot of people still think that there's going to be a rush of money into PulseChain, the core coin, and everybody will be selling memes to go buy it. But that doesn't happen, man. Like, when a city gets more rich, people don't sell pizza shops to go work for the government. Okay, they don't do that. In fact, they open up more pizza shops. That's actually a pretty good analogy. Yeah. Let's say the government just increased the income of all the workers by like a 2x. Yeah, people go up, open up more pizza shops because people have more money for pizza. You see? That's Pulse. Pulse going up is like the government workers. That's because it's a city GDP. Pretty much just think about it like that, but the basic way for them to pay. Yeah, when that goes up, they spend more. No one ever says like, oh, okay, we've all made money. Let's go sit on our hands and do nothing. It's economy that gets spent out, you know. But now it's funny, we're not buying goods and services, we are buying into memes, which is just community tickets. I wonder how that ends, friends. Don't forget, he loves you. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you next one.